What activity is in the brain when acquiring language? And what's the difference between this and a late talker or a child with a developmental delay?
Oh, there's so many things happening when you're acquiring language. It's what your main job when you're a small baby is learning about the sounds of the language around you, and also learning to one day make these noises yourself. So a lot of what's happening involves you actually zooming in onto the things that are critical for your particular language. So different languages use sound in different ways, and in English, for example, we have the vowel sounds in head and had are different vowel sounds, so we learn to discriminate those as different sounds. And if you're growing up speaking German, there's the vowel kind of intermediate to that, so it's much harder for an adult German speaker to hear cattle and kettle as being two different words. And it's not an effort for somebody who's spoken English from when they were born, because we've been exposed to it because of their experience. So a big part of language is, finding out about the language that you're learning. There's a whole other sort of set of things to do with how you develop your understanding of the sort of the syntax and the semantics of your language. All of that is going on as well, and both in terms of how you understand it and how you produce it. And in terms of how that can go wrong, there's so many different ways that things can be affected. All sorts of things can affect your ability to learn to speak and to understand speech. There does seem to be evidence coming in from Dorothy Bishop's lab in Oxford that there can be quite complex contributions, for example, of genetic factors to a problem with acquiring language. So children with a, quote, specific language impairment, which is a particular problem with language that is much worse than their problems with other, in other cognitive domains. There seems to be underpinned by quite complex and heterogeneous, which means mixed and variable genetic contributions. So you might have a contribution that's affecting your ability to deal with syntax, and separately have a contribution that's affecting your short-term memory, so your ability to sort of hold on to sounds for a short amount of time. There's a world beyond that, but there's so much more to learn, and it's so important to know about, because when you're dealing with the adult brain, of course you're dealing with a brain that's acquired all this stuff. But there's definitely phenomenal complexity, both in terms of normal development of language and also things that can affect that.